Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome and thank you very much for joining another EPP webinar. Today, it's a great pleasure to have with us István, Czilik and Pavel Verblyudenko from Revenue AI at this webinar, How Can AI-Powered Solutions like ChatGPT Increase Organizations' Margins in Dialogue with Business Concerns? And now, I would like to hand it over to Pavel. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everybody. Maybe it's good morning. For somebody, maybe it's good evening. We have more than 160 participants, at least registered. We hope even more joined us today. Thanks, Sylvia. Thanks, EPP, for hosting this webinar. And we will start with a brief introduction. I am Pavel, and my career is not in IT, so far at least. I spent 25 years in sales and marketing in very different roles, from account manager to head of marketing, head of sales, VP, general management in different industries, in big companies, smaller companies, in Europe, Asia, Africa. And I joined Revenue AI more than 2.5 years ago already. For startup, it's quite a long time. And I'm board member overseeing sales and marketing in Revenue AI. Before we start and before I will introduce you, István, to you, a few rules of engagement. You will see, and you already see the button question and answers, so you can ask any question you want. We can't promise we answer all your questions, but we'll try to answer as much as possible. And obviously, after this webinar, we'll publish the list of full answers to all your questions. On top of this, we'll do voting to make this session interactive. We'll launch voting quite soon, and you will be able to vote for one of options, and we will ask you a very exciting question, obviously, and we will release the answers later. With this, let me introduce to you István, the founder and owner of Revenue AI. István, your story.
Yes, thank you very much. So it's very exciting to be here. Thank you very much, Pasha, for coming up with this idea of the webinar as well as it is. So what you need to know about Revenue AI altogether, that now it's in our third year, and actually it's our fourth year because we became 3 years old, and we decided to collect everything what we have from all of our knowledge from the past around data, around organizational transformation, around everything what we did until now, pricing, to create a completely new platform focused very heavily on AI-driven price and revenue management, real-time pricing, and these kind of exercises. And this is something where we decided that this company is going to be completely work from anywhere. So this is actually something that I'm happy to say after 3+ years that it's working very well. And also we made the decision that this AI-based transformation is going to disrupt several parts of the pricing elements. So that's what we are going to talk about today, because with the latest technology trends, actually what we started to do as something futuristic in a couple of years ago is something now we are talking about as a real-time trend, and it starts to become a very real challenge for lots of organizations.
I think before we continue with a nice set of very interesting questions, let us do a few announcements. Actually, things are changing very fast, and life is going on really very fast. Where you can learn more and how you can learn more on our activities, on artificial intelligence in general, and on impact of AI in the business. We have few new events, other events coming. You can see it behind us on the screen. Yes, visible?
Yes.
Yes, so it's just take your notes, and we'll announce it very soon in greater details. So then, let's start. And I think everybody, I can bet everybody who registered to this webinar knew about the ChatGPT story. So for me, it came as a surprise as a person. I never heard of it before. And like months ago, suddenly the news pop up that ChatGPT is changing the world. So István, if you can answer what is it? Is it just hype or it's something meaningful? Why it's so revolutionary?
Yes, so the technology has been around for a while, but definitely ChatGPT and OpenAI was the one who put it on the map. So it's in wider terms, it's called generative AI, and this is what you can encounter lately coming up in various areas if you are working. It's not only about talking about generating text like ChatGPT, but it's also about generating additional content, videos, PowerPoint presentations, and additional elements, maybe an image, maybe a song even, or similar, or code, right? That's one thing that is also a catch-up. And the revolutionary part is that these engines are creating new content based on the data available for them. Now, the data available for them is mostly very vast. So this is where the big change as well is going to be explained later today. Why is it a big advantage in all of these languages and AI models that actually they receive lots of data?
Okay, but a bit coming back a bit, there are many, from what I understand, ChatGPT is one of many different artificial intelligence, if I may say so. But overall, the term AI, I guess, came to existence many years ago, maybe 50 years ago. But what changed really? So since that moment of time, so is it some dramatic change? Why we see all those development right now? So why it's now? So it's
Yeah, I believe the race is on since these new introductions started to be implemented, and really that's what we see visibly right now across the big players. So it's not only about ChatGPT, right? It's about the latest one actually is GPT-4 from the same company, or you heard about Google's Bard, for example, which is also introducing similar technologies, and basically what changed is the underlying technology and the reception of the people. So cloud computing became very heavily available, and the let's call it like even supercomputing power, what you can harness in the cloud is something which makes it very easily available for various developer teams to make it happen, right? Then the data storage is also becoming more and more mature, because like 5 years ago already we were talking about things that actually people are not deleting any data anymore. So this means is that the digital content that is being created is humongous, and to be able to use that is a possibility, and that's what these engines are harnessing. And last but not least, right, people became more receptive. So this also probably been involved with the latest trends which connected a little bit to the recent lockdowns as well, right? That work from anywhere became available. With work from available, actually people started to become more open to these additional experiences. I need to name here even like the metaverse and additional items like what is coming up. And this means that actually the generative AI content started to be more and more resonating with the people as well, which actually I see and we see personally, because again, like 3 years ago, 4 years ago, when we were talking about AI, like I received the feedback is like, István, you are talking spaceship, right? And you want to go to the Mars, and that's something that's impossible. And right now, actually, this is something where the change has been significantly altered in the last 3 years, and now companies are actively coming to us looking for these kind of answers.
no, I'm one of those people who are still deleting some files. At least I believe I deleted it. I'm not sure it's been erased completely. What I hear, if I understood it correctly, it's a size of the cloud in general, which allows us to store much more information than previously, and the speed of all the computing and all the processing. And if you look at development of engines and the algos, how it's done, is it also developing? Or so it's a new generation of engines probably, or it's not just the amount of data and the speed of calculations.
Yes, certainly. The new generation of engine is being developed as well, right? So like the unsupervised learning related algorithms and similar are also coming into play right now very heavily, and things become more and more mature. this way. But I don't know if today the audience is more interested about these kind of things, so I'm not sure how much we want to go into the details like that.
Okay, no, it's just to get a bit of clarity. The name of the company, our company is Revenue.ai, and obviously it speaks for itself, and it means that we are trying to bring artificial intelligence to revenue management. Yes. Why is it a choice? Why did we choose revenue management precisely, and how artificial intelligence can help really to manage revenue of the company? So, what's the point?
Yes, actually, we are joking with some of my peers and friends is that it's not a choice anymore, right? So this is one thing. So like doing revenue management with AI is the only way to do it properly in the future. And the reason for that is that actually there is much more data available than it was available before, and to be able to take like fact-based real decisions, you cannot do it on gut feeling and you cannot do it on Excel sheets anymore. Either you are able to combine all the available channels, all the available SKUs, all the available competition data, digital, not so digital, brick and mortar information, and then also combine it with additional data sets acquired from outside or obtained from outside, or you will not be able to understand your whole market. And this is a big change what is coming into, especially in the FMCG and retail industry, and that's what we need to leverage.
Okay. Now, I think it's absolutely clear for me. And I think, guys, it's a good moment to start our voting. So I will try to do it. We have 4 questions for you guys. First one, have you already implemented any AI powered solution, analytical solution for your business? Yes, no. Are you interested in integrating AI solution into your business in 2023? Are you waiting a bit for your AI solution to be more mature and you will do it in the coming years? Or you don't trust it at all and just you don't consider it completely? These are the questions. It's on your screen. Please answer. And I think in 10-15 minutes, when everybody will answer, we will see the result and we will publish the result, and we will continue discussing these results. It's very interesting how our audience is perceiving revenue management and in relations with artificial intelligence. So we understand why artificial intelligence is important for revenue management, how it may be helpful. What competitive advantage really artificial intelligence may bring to the companies who are implementing it? How do you see it?
Yes, consider it an engine upgrade in your car, right? So basically the competitive advantage is that your car is going to will have much more horsepower and can deliver much more. And that's pretty much like the power of pricing, the power of revenue management, which is going to be increased vastly. So in more details, if you want to talk about it, like what is going to be the competitive advantage, then you will be able to understand the market faster. There will be much more alternatives to pick from. There will be much better alternatives to pick from. You will have the possibility to do automatic pricing for all of the products and all of the channels if you want to make that decision. And the future is going to come again to this one in 3 years. And again, something that people are saying that's not going to happen in the FMCG industry. I disagree. This is going to happen. Then also, not to mention that these promotion engines are going to be much more easy to run. And actually, sooner or later, it's going to be the minimum requirement to run it as such, because it's not only that you will need to pay attention to your own promotions, but you will also need to pay attention how the competing companies and products are going to be building their promotions as well. And all of this together is the stronger engine what I'm talking about, which is going to be the competitive advantage on one hand. On the other hand, all the additional frustration, which is closing and slowing people down around data quality, around people enablement, capability enablement, around the fact that do I need to see everything real time or not, all of these things are also become normal. And this is something as well which is going to be enabled with a properly running AI engine in an organization.
Very often people, and you also said sooner or later we will come to this. Yes, absolutely agree. What I hear from the business partners from time to time, they're saying, right now it's a hype, too many different companies, too many different offers. We don't really understand who is doing what. We will wait 2-3 years, and then one day Microsoft will launch some plugin to, I don't know, Excel, and it will be really common practice. What do you recommend companies to wait till perfect solution is coming to the market, or solution from some huge company like Microsoft per se, or it makes sense to start doing it right now? So what would be your view on this?
So again, let's continue with the horsepower and the race car example, right? So the one who is winning the race, who has the stronger engine and who has the better technology to win with, on top of having the best drivers. That's the combination. If you don't have the strongest engine, you can still have the best driver and you have a chances to win, but there is a possibility that in this case the wins are going to be less frequent or going to be more problematic, right? That's again revenue management as the way it should be done properly in a company, properly in an organization, in a combination of the finance team, the revenue management team, and the sales team, plus an RGM engine, right? If you don't have it, you still can win, but it's going to be much more work, much more preparation, much more extra effort invested. Today, where we are, and as always with the race, is like whoever is first has a higher chances to win. So if you are an early adopter, then you will be probably working more on the engine, and after that has higher chances to win because you will be simply investing earlier than the competition. If you are a late adopter, then you need to rely much more on your team to make sure that they are doing an excellent job, because the challenges are going to be much more complicated when you are looking at your engine. And not to mention that actually sooner or later the technology is going to be real time again. So this is something that needs to be accepted. So like the better AI engine will prove better competitive advantage to a company.
It's clear, and you said, of course, without AI solutions, we are relying on the teams. Very often it's maybe the team of revenue managers, it may be the team of category managers or financial analysts. But what will happen with all those people when AI really will come to the party and will start doing the job on revenue management? So what those people will lose their jobs, or?
Of course not.
I'm not so sure, but it's a very common concern in the past year. So what will happen?
I'm sure that lots of the audience has already heard this comment, right? Is that it's not the AI who is going to take your job, but the people using AI, right? So what is changing fast, and this is where us humans need to be adapting to these technologies, right? Is that whoever is adapting to these technologies better are going to be the ones taking the bigger salaries, the ones who are going to be taking the better job positions, are the ones who are going to be more successful in the business or in the corporate world. So, like, if today you are not adapting to these technologies and you are not investing into your career, that's something similar to, I don't know, when 30 years ago you were paying strong attention not to learn computers and how to insert a floppy disk, in case some of you remember that, right? Because you will become obsolete sooner or later.
Or you can wait until floppy disk is obsolete and you don't need to learn how to insert it. Also true. No, so you're saying that, probably makes sense. Guys, we better now invest in our own education and get familiar with all the new tools available on the market, and then it will help us to not just to keep our jobs, but to make it better and earn more finally at the end of the day. But with all the artificial intelligence, also the typical concern is on decision-making process. Would it, and specifically in the light of ChatGPT running the world, would we be able to take our own decisions, or very soon it will be dictated and taken by some artificial intelligence and some robots? How do you see it in general? Is it an issue, not an issue, just superstitions of some people, or?
I believe like that in a couple of years, actually, it's going to be a combination of a team and the combination of AI engines, which is going to make the decision. So it might happen that it's not even going to be one AI engine making the decision, but the proper voting be over there as well, because there is going to be one AI engine specialized in pricing, one AI engine specialized in promotion, and maybe they will not be connected, and there will be another engine which is going to be specialized on supply chain and distribution, right? Then we set the pricing, and then it turns out that we cannot still deliver, no matter how good the pricing is, because the company cannot supply. So this is where the collaboration of the human brain and the AI brain is going to be extremely important in the future as well. And of course, any company can make that decision is that AI is going to be taking over more of the decisions. It's a possibility, but I don't think that it's a real possibility to only do that without human intervention.
Okay, but all the engines, like pricing engine and the promotional engine, they're independent from each other, or it's a part of one global brain, artificial brain, or they're really acting as independent?
On the long run, it's going to be one brain, but also over there are going to be more independent learning algorithms coming in. So what is going to happen is that you are going to have a brain 1.0, which is running on the old AI, and you will have a brain 2.0, which is going to be running on the new AI.
Mm-hmm.
And the two things are going to make decisions together.
Wow, exciting. I hope we didn't scare the audience so far. And I think we are ready with our voting. Let me end it, and let us see the results. I think you see it on the screen. Have you implemented any AI-powered analytical solution for your business? 80% of our answers, 80% of respondents said no, not yet, and 20 said yes. I think 20% is big enough, so it's significant.
That's a good start.
It's significant.
Yes.
Are you interested in integrating solutions into your business in business strategies in 2023? So it's current year. Yes, 63%. No, 38%. So majority of our audience wants to do it this year.
I'm sure that the ones who click no are made an accident in clicking, because otherwise you wouldn't be here.
Are you considering delaying the implementation of AI solutions for another 1-2 years to allow for the advancement? It was the topic I asked. 50-50. So it's like the same amount of people. And then, are you hesitant to use AI in your business due to the issue or other concerns? Majority said no. 53%, 58% said no. So it's so majority of the people are saying that no, it's the future, and we don't feel scared. But at the same time, 43% is saying no, it's quite scary. So it means that we need to keep our webinar. We need to continue to build more on this and probably answer all the concerns, or more of the concerns our audience has. So we will stop this one, and for now we don't have too many questions. I will continue with my list, what I prepared previously beforehand. So, talking AI and different artificial brains. When I do my data research and data analysis by myself, I'm pretty much sure that it's correct because of my background, because of all the methods I'm using. How can we be sure that AI is correct? Is it always correct, or is it possibility for mistake? So it's if AI will recommend me to increase my price by 3%, let's say, or decrease it by 5%. How can we be sure it's really correct? It's not something which is just not relevant. Do we have any controls, or how?
It's a learning exercise. So, like, if you are asking these kind of questions, and you need to learn how to work with your AI engine. So, like, the more you work with it, the more you will be trusting it. And because it's lots of unsupervised learning as well, this means is that you need to be able to start to trust it, especially at the beginning. So that's why, like, again, the ChatGPT kind of approach helps a lot in adoption, right? Because, like, every time you ask a question from these kind of robots, it's going to come up with an answer. How can you be sure that actually that answer is the right answer? Like, actually, ChatGPT is one of the tools where you can notoriously trick it to say it's like 2 plus 2 is 5, right? And then it's going to give you the wrong answer. So in AI, in the pricing side, this shouldn't happen. So this is based on data quality, this is based on the training, and this is based on the collaboration of the humans and the AI engines and how much you test it, right? If you want to trick it, and if you give it wrong data, as with ChatGPT, right? If you insist that 2 plus 2 is 5, and if you give wrong data to the AI engine as well, then it's going to come up with a wrong answer.
Okay. Overall, what kind of data we are using for AI in revenue management? So is any data, or we have some specific requirements for the data? So it's simply Nissan market data, or what is the requirements for that, for the data?
Yes. So thinking about the cloud computational power, here actually the data sets are exploding and the possibility to use them. So lots of the cases we still encounter that actually the challenge, and the companies are coming to us with the classical data sets. So POS data, sellout data is already something which is very good, especially if the granularity is good enough. Across the globality, oftentimes what we see, this is already a challenge to start to put together it in the same products with the same competitors. So that's already an AI challenge to start to clean it and make it actually like a single data set. But the real power comes in if you start to augment this data set with additional data. So additional data can come in from digital imaging, for example, digital scraping, getting the information from the web, getting the promo information from the web, going into the web, collecting additional information which is relevant to your business. And actually that's going to be something which is a very exciting area. So let's suppose you are looking into pandemic data, and the pandemic data you can start to see from gathering, like, I don't know, the reports or whatever you see on the web, is that actually like flu is growing, right? And there are some areas where flu is growing. So this means that actually you can anticipate that you need to sell more handkerchief. So that way you can start to anticipate the possibility of these kind of sales. And the reality is that this is something that we already had again precedent for. So for the safer side, I was using this flu side, right? But like going back not so far past, like in regards of lockdowns and how to adapt to the lockdowns, we were already working with organizations who were adapting to the lockdown information and how to store up so that actually they can provide more sales from the items that people tend to buy in case of lockdowns.
It's interesting. Talking data and overall the complexity of the problems we are solving, for many users and many people, it sounds like really the spaceship, as you said in the beginning. The question is, it's nice when we talk artificial intelligence in general and the influence of artificial intelligence to the business. But what is happening in reality? I have personal experience with ChatGPT. It's one line, you simply chat. But when it comes to the complicated solutions, some charts, some graphics, whatever, what are the ways to communicate with artificial intelligence? Is it complicated overall? You need to log to some platform, build complicated reporting, or there are simpler ways to do it. So what and what Revenue AI is doing it probably, if you can tell us.
No, it shouldn't be complicated at all. So it should be as straightforward as just simply using your Windows or your mobile. And actually, this is where, again, these generative AI technologies helped us a lot because they made this simplified, very much simplified. So one of the things that I wanted to mention, right, is like when we go out into the public and we listen to these various interviews, what is happening. Like one item that came up that Bill Gates was saying is like this generative AI technology right now is a similar kind of destruction in his opinion, like the graphical user interface was in the 80s. So this means is that simply with using this ChatGPT kind of queries, it's going to be way simpler to make sure that actually everything what I am asking for is received and I can get it from any source, any data source. And what Revenue AI does, actually, this is one of the things that we are releasing ourselves as well. So one of the events we were talking about is like, in case you are interested, on the 18th of April, we are releasing a completely new set of platform. And over there, we will be using all these generative AI elements to provide information not only about what you have inside your system, but how to simulate inside the system, how to automatically get your information on pricing, how to get your computer brain to alert to this kind of information, and that's where it becomes consumable, in our opinion.
No, I think that's great. So for me, it's really positive news that I don't need to overcomplicate things. It may be as simple as simple chat. It's very exciting. Can you give us any specific examples of business cases where Revenue AI helped already some businesses to improve revenue and how it works in general? So it's in FMCG industry.
Yes. So first of all, right? So all of the pillars of revenue management are going to be disrupted by AI, no matter what. So everything around revenue management. So pricing, promotion, tech, all of these things are going to be impacted. And now the first example what I am thinking we should be talking about is about promotions, right? That's one of the typical challenges. Some of my previous contacts and some of our clients already solved it, and lots of people are working on solving it. So what is the challenge with promotions? How do I know that my promotions work? How do I know that I can sell enough product or sell the right products in a way so that actually my promotions stick and actually this increases on average the consumption? How can I find out? How can I simulate it done properly? How can I set my right promotion calendar and all of these things? So in the past it was running on gut feeling, right? So what we did is that the client came into us, asked about these kind of challenges. They want to understand how to run the promotions in the future and how to generate much bigger return of investment here because they have a limited promotional budget and obviously they want to increase the return of investment. So let's consider that we uploaded all the data and every data is available. So what we did is that with an AI engine, lots of the manual work that in the past needed to be done, we can do now automatically. We can automatically generate the switching matrices. We can automatically identify the competitor products. We can automatically create scenarios and best effect scenarios and start to compare what are the scenarios which is better for us based on the product mix and based on the budget and based on the product promotional length versus competition. We can also identify competitions, promotions as well, so that actually we put our products in the promotional space when we are not competing versus traditionally other products from competitor companies. And this is what we did for the customer. So we have them to put together this kind of promo combinations and execute it on the market, ultimately resulting in 20% increase on the promo budget return of investment, which is pretty significant. And this is actually step number one. So where the AI disruption comes in is that it's not only about this challenge we can help solving in this case, right? But think about it really, this is an AI brain. You start to load the data, and the data upload is not going to be so cumbersome. So actually the data can come from digital sources again, or from not so unconventional sources, so like from Nielsen, as you mentioned. And all of this data gets consolidated across the whole region. So in this case, it can be the Asia Pacific, or it was in Asia Pacific. So actually we can start to talk about data consolidation over there. And then the engine starts to monitor the whole business environment. And that's another intervention. So instead of working with hundreds of people, identifying outliers, competitor actions, actually the AI brain is automatically working and identifying what is happening on the market, what are the outliers to jump on. If there is a competitor promotion, we need to counter. If there is anything that we need to intervene. And these are the interventions also being available for anyone who is using the properly built RGM engine.
Maybe say that this artificial brain becoming our co-pilot in the business when we are doing our regular job. Co-pilot helps us to run the plane or whatever it is, run the car faster and better. So
definitely. And as with everything like that, right, is like, what is the benefit of all of these co-pilot things? Actually, like, again, let's go back to driving. It's like sometimes they help us in faster reaction because we don't see anything. Sometimes they jump and they brake too early, right? That can also happen. But still, the co-pilot helps you stay safe.
Safety is very important. And it's my next concern, next question. I think we are already 6 minutes before we need to finish the webinar. So before we come to the questions, very brief one: security of the data, safety of the data, and the safety of the business. Is it safe? How safe it is to use artificial intelligence and such a copilot? If I load all the data to the cloud, how safe my data will be? So it's what are the protection measures we have, and is it a problem? How do you see it?
Let's go through another example. For another company, we built a pricing engine, right? We collected all the information from their internal systems, and we also got the information from the web. The data storage was in the cloud. It was inside our cloud, and regarding the safety, like, it's as safe as we built that cloud. So we made sure that actually the safety standards are being kept, and we adhere all the safety standards. But that's one aspect, right? The second aspect, which is very important, is like, how safe is the decision you are going to make based on this pricing information. So what we have here as well is that actually we have the client to make new product mix information and make new products decisions simply because we have them to identify opportunities that was not there. So is it safe? Yes, it is safer than before, because before that, you made these decisions based on lots of access or based on a very specialized team who was working on it for 3 months, and by the time you made the decision, maybe it was obsolete. Compared to that one, this is going to be faster. Is it completely safe? Well, it's again going back to the driving experience. So if you run with a car, which an electronic car, which can raise the warning that there is a stop sign, you can still go through, and either you brake your car or you don't, right? So I would say that it's still the human decision that needs to make the critical judgment in the end.
Makes sense. No, thank you. I think we can come to the questions. We have few of them. What is your view on the future of data integration? Will AI help to integrate all the different data that is available in the organization rather easy? For example, SAP, GFK, CRM, BI, etc. What are the holes, and how can I help to integrate and interpret this data?
That's actually forever a golden question. And yes, this is something that we were talking just lately with some of our other customers. And I was speaking to one of the biggest, one of the chief data officers who is head of retail at one of the biggest retail chains. And we were talking about the fact is that we shouldn't even start any kind of data project without AI enablement anymore. Any kind of data consolidation, definitely, because AI needs to do this job. And without that, simply it's going to be a lots of manual work and a lots of wasted energy. Yes, AI will need to do this job. And just to say so, right, in our technology, we already have to do that in our engine for the critical data sources. So this is also something that we already paid attention in our engine as well.
Okay, so it's very reassuring. The question is, would you be able to provide a very specific example of additional information recommendation based on AI versus more traditional models to estimate price elasticity, understanding what competition are most impacting my sales, etc.? So it's, from what I understand, example of additional information or recommendation based on AI versus more traditional models, ML, machine learning models. So it's
Right. So let's pick. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to go into the details. Actually, I'm sure I'm not going to be going into the details here, right? But a very specific example can be, for example, a new product introduction. So when we talk about introducing a new product, it can be built in the combination of using previous new product introductions and previous products, and start to position this new product set into a switching matrix, into a product mix. And this is where AI can help us put it in the right place with the right pricing, also put in inside there the additional elements which are connected to flavor or some other item, and give us an information like if the product is going to be potentially successful or not.
okay. We have few technical question. Probably another one, which is very nice one. Does Revenue AI has a competition on the market? What is the difference between Revenue AI and competitors, if there are any competitors on the market?
There is always competition. Yes. So that's definitely something which we are constantly facing. So like most of the times our competition is either consulting firms with one-off consulting exercises, or it is actually internal or external dashboard development where it's simply descriptive engines what people are building and companies building. The challenge in all of these cases is that actually like we don't really compete. So what we do and what we should be doing is like coexist, because this is exactly the combination of like do I do the AI engine together with the professional consulting team, and how much do I use my already existing investment versus how much do I insert into it an AI. And to be honest, better yet, since AI engines are growing today, right? And there is lots of possibility for these AI engines to grow. Like I would say is that from this perspective, I would dare say is like a company who wants to win today would even use multiple AI engines in parallel to test them out in parallel, because that's how you can ensure that actually you are winning.
Thank you. I think we are running out of time, from what I understand. We need to finish. I think we can finish with another announcement of what will happen in April and May with Revenue AI. On April 18th, we are doing big announcement, and you can always go to Revenue AI site to look at it. On 27th of April, it is the second Revenue AI and EPP webinar. Thank you, EPP, for hosting us. I will have a second webinar with you. In April, we are participating in Commodity Trading Week. It's in London. And 10th, 11th of May, we are very welcome to Barcelona. It will be the weather will be even better than now in Barcelona, I hope. It's third EPP Global FMCG CPG conference. Then, to conclude, the future is intelligent. Revenue AI coming with a new release of another features and upgrade of the platform, upgrade of our co-pilots, artificial intelligence co-pilot, how we call it right now. And let me again, first, István, thank you for being with me today, answer all the questions. Dear participants, thank you all for being with us. So it was great to have you all. I will count who was on the line to check, and of course you will receive the answers to all the questions. We will publish it on our site and on EPP platform. And again, thank you EPP for hosting us. And today we had a great person in the room, Iris. She helped us with all the nice cameras and sound. Don't blame her if sound was not good enough. It's something else. I can tell you. Thank you all. Have a nice day.